Into the studio. Into the studio. Oh, I need that. Woo! Caught it. Hello. Atreyu Voyager full review coming right at you. But first, shout out to Andy's Frozen Custard. We're going to get some custard, everybody. Is cookie dough,
Sure.
another concrete, M&M, yeah, with a cherry as well. Oh my goodness, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, butter my bread. Whoa, grab them before they fall. There did true love, boom. Hello. Little cheers, Andy's.
Summer's officially begun.
Right? We never.
Cancel.
School's canceled. Andy's is a flowing. It's good to be alive. Oh, that's good. Hard to beat. Everybody, the remnants. We're done. All right. True love, duty calls. Time to go give full review of the Atreyu Voyager. That's right. Keep going. The battle lies within. All right.
That's a good saying.
Into the studio. Into the studio.
Atreyu.
Oh, I need that. Woo! Caught it. Hello. Hello. Here we go. Duty calls. All right, let's do this. And again, thank you to Ann from Andy's. You just made our day. You just made our day, Ann. All right, thank you so much. Here we go. Full review of the Atreyu Voyager. And you're probably sitting out there like, what the heck? Like, I've never heard of Atreyu before. What company is that? It's a brand new running shoe company just entering the running shoe marketplace. I love innovation in many different regards. Whether it's the construction of the shoe or the actual business model, which Atreyu is, frankly, I'll just say, like, trying to disrupt the running shoe marketplace, and I'll explain how here in a second. So let's dive into it. Full review. We made it past 50 miles in this neutral, okay, road running shoe. But when I do the twist test, a little dance there, it's not dancing as much as I expected given the weight of the shoe. And I'll get you the weight of the shoe here in 1 second. So it's dancing, but it's not completely loosey-goosey as I do the twist test. Okay, 6mm drop. You know how they have it written there right on the side of the shoe. I love the fact they put it right there on the side. We're looking at a 21. They call it a 21.5. We'll just round right down to 21mm stack height in the heel, 15mm stack height in the forefoot for the Atreyu Voyager. So I'm going to put it into the lower category for stack heights in road running shoes. And as far as the weight goes, and just so you know, it's a men's shoe and a women's shoe. They make the same shoe for men and women, okay? And I don't know if they'll do that forever and ever, but for now, that's how the company is starting out with unisex sizing. And we're looking at 5.6, 5.7 ounces in my size. So we're talking under 6 ounces for a training shoe. Unbelievable. Come back to that in a minute. And onto the upper of the Voyager, a very basic mesh upper, no extra overlays added on top of this upper. So very lightweight, very malleable, or very, you can just, like, look at this. You can just scrunch it up with your hands and fingers, including the heel counter. Boop. Boop, boop, there it goes. Like, we're talking no rigidity through that heel counter. I'll come back to that in a minute as far as how it performed. And then it is not a gusseted tongue, and the tongue, it's very thin, and I was a little concerned about it scrunching up when I was lacing up, but no issues with the tongue scrunching up on top of the foot, and the eyelet chain was fine. You know, no, I'm not saying it was like like a perfect lockdown over the midfoot, but at the same time, no issues with the lockdown through the midfoot through that eyelet chain. And I think that's it on the, like, it does have a pull tab, and as far as to get your, oh yeah, one last point, it does have a pull tab, and definitely not a plush collar that wraps around your ankle, okay? Not a lot of padding there. It has padding, but not a lot of padding around the collar of the of the Atreyu Voyager. And on to the heart of the shoe, the midsole of the Voyager. It's one piece of EVA, rubberized EVA foam the entire way. It's all this blue here, and on the side it says strike here, so they're encouraging more of that midfoot strike. And as you know, I'm striving to be, more up on my forefoot as much as possible. And on my longest run, which I'll talk about in a minute, and the fastest run, I was able to stay up on my forefoot pretty well in this shoe. Last but not least, on the midsole, they have this lateral and medial stability weld. And it's not a stability shoe by any means, but just to help with a little bit of stability there. And that's where I think I'm doing the twist test, and I'm feeling just a little bit of strength to the midsole through that lateral and medial stability weld. So overall, solid there through the midsole. I'll talk more about the performance here in a second. And onto the outsole, very, very basic tread pattern. I don't know how it would do in wet conditions. I haven't ran in this shoe in, let's say, on a very wet paved road, but if you live in a really wet area, I'd be curious to see how this outsole would do on really wet paved roads or wet stone or something like I probably wouldn't be running fast speeds on really wet pavement or wet concrete, but overall, no issues with the outsole on the Voyager. For the fit, I went true to size. No issues with the length of the shoe. No issues with the width of the toe box. Yeah, I think it was spot on as far as how my foot rested inside that toe box. I'll come back to the heel counter in 1 second. And then comfort, again, streamlined, basic upper. I'm not saying it was screaming comfortable, but at the same time, I'm not that concerned about comfort through the upper. Obviously, you don't want discomfort either, but I had no issues. Like, it didn't feel uncomfortable, but I'm not saying it felt comfortable either through the upper, okay? And then, as far as the comfort of and let's just jump into it. My longest run, I think it was 21 miles, not 20. I think it was 21 miles, about 6:35 a mile. So it was my long run, 3 or 4 days ago? And by the end of the run, my forefoot was starting to feel the ground a little bit. So my foot was getting a little tired, okay? Now, it was a 21-mile long run at 6:35 a mile, so I'm not shocked that it happened, considering that this stack height is not incredibly tall. But overall, okay, I'm not saying the midsole is, all right, here we go. I'm glad I remembered. So when I want to go out and run kind of fast and have a little help from the shoe, I usually grab for the Asics Glide Ride, meaning the shoe it's helping me a little bit. Now, I really do think shoes can help you through your gait cycle. I really do. So I usually grab for the Glide Ride, but I am not sensing that as much through the Atreyu. So what do I mean? I mean, if you want to work on your foot strike, you want to work on being in control of your lower body, especially, let's say below your knees, okay? And strengthening, I love this, strengthening your soleus, all those little muscles that wrap around your shin bone, your calf, of course, your ankles, and then right down into your feet where you're just you're like in control of your foot strike, your gait cycle, your biomechanics, whatever you want to call it. Boom. I had a lot of fun on my 21-mile run at 6:35 a mile, just saying, you know what? I'm in control. I'm going to work a little harder than I would in the Glide Ride, but at the same time, I know that I can feel in my muscles and my ligaments and everything down there that I am putting them through a little more extra work so that when I get to the starting line, I'm getting rolling now, baby. So that when I get to the starting line, I am ready to rock and roll, because I believe my ligaments, my tendons, my muscles are all stronger because I ran a little bit more in this shoe. Does that make sense? I know I just went on a rant there, but it's like, I love the fact. And, okay, well, let's just jump into it. Here we go. The positive and the drawback. The positive, oh my goodness. 5.7 ounces. 5.7 ounces. Anything under 7 ounces in my size is pretty solid for a trainer, for a daily trainer. 5.7 is off the charts. So the weight is spot on. That is my positive. And frankly, on the long run, I just was going. And I think part of that was the fact that I was in such a lightweight shoe. Now my drawback, a little bit of a major drawback, is I felt decent amount of heel slipping through the heel counter, okay? Now, by mile 6, 8, I kind of forgot about it. I really did. Like, it wasn't really bothering me. But the first 2 or 3 miles especially, and I'm thinking mostly about my 21-mile long run, I could feel my heel moving around just a little bit, and I couldn't really get a perfect lockdown in the heel pocket that your heels, it just wasn't really locked in. So, or locked in as much as I would like. Not a deal breaker, but that is my drawback, and I don't know how they're going to resolve that down the road. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just dreaming that up. But that's what I was sensing for the drawback. Oh, you got me going. Okay, durability prediction is, I said 500 miles after the first impression run, upper right-hand corner if you want to go watch that vlog. I might drop it down to like that 400 to 500 range. 400 to 500, I'm just not sure how resilient the upper is gonna be. I'm pretty confident about the midsole, but the upper, I just don't know. It's pretty lean. But who knows? Maybe the material is gonna be resilient enough to go past 500, but I'm going with 400 to 500 for my durability prediction. How will I use this shoe moving forward? Easy day, daily trainer. I think it could go up to a middle distance run, so that 12 to 15 mile run for me. I'm not going to use it for a long run, not too much moving forward, if at all. I just would want a little more 4-foot protection from the pavement and the concrete for, let's say, those 20+ mile long runs, okay? And then I think you could take it absolutely out for a tempo day because the weight of the shoe is so lightweight. And who is this shoe best for? I'm going to say, well, first of all, I'll get to the price in a second. Someone who wants to save money, someone who enjoys a little bit of ground contact through the forefoot especially, and obviously somebody who does not like heavy training shoes. But obviously keep in mind, this shoe is not for someone who needs a little bit of help through their biomechanics, through their gait cycle, and definitely I would say if you need any sort of stability, I would say stay away from this shoe for now, okay? For now, until you build up the strength in your feet and your ankles. Now, moving on to the price of the Voyager, bear with me really quickly. I have to read something off their website. Here's where innovation comes into the process. Subscriptions, so this is a subscription-based pricing system, okay? So what you can do is you can sign up, so I don't know the exact prices. I believe it starts around $95 and then goes down from there, okay? But here's what they say about their subscriptions. Subscriptions will allow us to forecast the amount of shoes we need to order from our factory. In turn, we will be able to minimize backstock and manage our supply chain more efficiently. That keeps the price down of these shoes. In addition, the price per pair is substantially lower because we will be offering you our lowest margin wholesale price. Why? Because if you consistently re-up, meaning you're on their subscription base, we will be able to reserve purchase orders more regularly. In turn, this will grant us the ability to replenish the stock we need more frequently. So at the end of the day, again, and let's do question of the day here 1 second, but I love, I'm always talking about innovation on YouTube and in running to it, like in training to a certain extent, but I love talking about innovation with respect to YouTube and now with running shoe purchasing. So question of the day, what ideas or what would you like to see from a purchasing perspective with respect to running shoes, whether it's from running shoe stores, whether it's from, big people like Foot Locker or even like Amazon or smaller new companies like Atreyu, what do you think could be improved in the purchasing process of running shoes? That might be the better way to put the question of the day. What would you like to see improved in the purchasing process of running shoes? Maybe it's the price, maybe it's the delivery process, maybe you're thinking, maybe in 10 years we're going to be getting running shoes delivered to our house via drone. I don't know what's going to happen, but let us know. Think outside the box, and maybe some other running shoe companies will read your comments and get some ideas flowing. Okay, everyone, final score. Oh, I struggled. I'm going to go 7.9. You all know how 8 is like a really good score. Anything above 8 is really solid. The only reason it didn't go above 8 is because of that heel counter. And again, I forgot about it after 2 to 3 miles, but I don't know quite what to do about the lockdown of my heel, okay? So other than that, I love the shoe. Obviously, I love the price point. My conclusion on the performance is that it's just a good, I think it has the potential to be just a good, solid daily trainer and with no bells and whistles. And like I just went on my rant, if you want to work on the strength of your legs and being in control of your foot strike, I think this shoe has the potential to put you in control, okay? Where you're in control of the shoe and the shoe is not in control of you. Sound good? No, hey, I love when shoes are sometimes in control of me because I can kind of run really fast in the glide ride. But at the end of the day, I appreciate working on my foot strike and biomechanics as well. I'm going to call it there. I could go on and on. Love you all. We're going to toss it back to the Atreyu first impression vlog, which has, it's over 50,000 views already, which is amazing considering it's a brand new running shoe company. So obviously the word is out about Atreyu, and yes, their website is listed down below. All right, there you go, everyone. Atreyu Voyager, first impression, onward and upward. All right, everyone, see beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.